You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are links since that makes official. Welcome to the big show, as always, for 2,700 episodes, 17 years. 16 years going on 17, 2,600 episodes of the Chris Voss Show. It's a lot of numbers, people, and it's we're in that void between Christmas and New Year's 2025 right now. If you're watching this years from now, and no one knows who they are, where they are, or what they're doing in the void. You just wake up every day and you just wipe all the Cheetos dust that you had from sitting naked in your beanbag watching TV all day, and
bowl games.
You try and figure out if you're in the right house and that sort of thing, and then you just do that every day until the 2nd of January, and then you have to go to work.
Yeah.
And you do have to clean the cheese dust off when you go to work. HR says I can't do that anymore. Anyway, guys, we have an amazing young lady in the show, but in the meantime, we need to have you refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives, or we'll knock on your door and offer you Cheetos. Go to Goodreads.com, says Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com, says Chris Voss. Chris Voss, one of the TikTok and all those crazy places on the internet. We had an amazing young lady on the show today. We're going to be talking about her hot new book, and it's funny as hell title. I really like this title. I guess I'm going to find out about this, about some of the how to utilize the book for self-help. The book is entitled "Some Asses Just Need Wiping: Lesson on Holding It All Together as My Mother's Lifelong Caregiver." Out November 16th, 2025 by Shelly Grimm. Shelly, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I am excellent. And we'll get into this. Give us your .coms. Where do people need to find you on the interwebs?
The best place to find me is theperpetualcaregiver.com.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, and then Perpetual Caregiver, kind of like you were saying, ChrisVoss.com, Chris Voss. Mine's kind of Perpetual Caregiver, everything . Just kind of hunt around Perpetual Caregiver everything. You'll find me YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. But the Perpetual Caregiver, if you start there .com, you'll find pretty much everything you're looking for.
There you go. So give us an overview of what this book is about.
Well, it gives the backstory as to why the perpetualcaregiver.com actually has begun. And I've been putting this, I'll call it my heart hub. I've been putting it together for quite some time, but it is because it's a part of me. It's not something that I started because it was a great idea or I needed to monetize something or along those lines. It's something that I do regardless of whether I get paid for it or not. So why not? But the book, Some Asses Just Need Wiping, is I'm a good old Texas girl from the panhandle of Texas here in Amarillo.
Mm-hmm.
And that wouldn't be something that'd be just a crazy old saying that would happen up here in just, any old place.
Mm-hmm.
So as my book team and I were going through what to name the book, that just kind of came up. And that's kind of how that name got, I said, well, just as I was going through what we were going to talk about, I said, well, I don't know what to tell you. Because they were like, well, what are we going to name it? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All I know is some asses just need wiping. And there it was. So.
Now, are we talking about asses of people that you love, that your caretaker situation for?
Metaphorically.
I know some asses on Twitter.
Well, let's talk about that. So we've got metaphoric asses, right? We've got literal asses. We've got jackasses. We've got asses. So I've had the pleasure, honor, not so much pleasure, you name it, of having all of those to wipe in one way or another. And it started, unfortunately for me, my journey and the adventure of wiping asses, whether I wanted to or not, started at 5.
Oh, wow.
And it started because my mother had the unfortunate displeasure of being the first woman in the United States diagnosed with what is now known as Crohn's disease.
Oh,
at the time, she was diagnosed with what was known as ileitis.
Oh, wow.
So she was a single mom. My older sister was pretty much raised by my grandmother. It was just she and I. And our third party growing up in the household was Crohn's. And so I became not in today's standards. By today's standards, I would be considered what would be considered a neglected child.
Mm-hmm.
By standards, and God love you. You called me a young woman. I'm 61 years old. So, but
I'm 58, so I'm trying to keep us both.
We are right there. High five.
Trying to keep us both.
So, I just say I'm aging gracefully, and whatever that looks like, it looks like, But, my mother didn't have the capacity to do much else besides survive. And my grandmother was a nurse. Everybody did what they could, but we didn't even know what she had. The doctors didn't even know what she had. I mean, this is groundbreaking when you think about that. You think about, what do you do when you open up an 18-year-old who's come back from her senior trip and you're thinking you're going to open her up to have female problems, and you really open her up and she's got an obstructed, not colon. You've seen that before, but she's got an obstructed small intestine.
Oh, wow.
So the doctors open her up and go, okay, well, you know what? We're going to clip that out. And they're going to tootle her on up this road a piece to a little known place called Dallas.
Uh-huh.
We're going to get her out of Amarillo pretty fast. So, and she was 18. Wow. So she didn't have me till she was 27. And so I found myself over the course of my life, my journey, I kept ending up with all these roles, whether it be professional, it be, volunteer, whether it be just people getting sent to me. And then my oldest child, my firstborn, was born neurodivergent, which they didn't even have a term for that when he's 37.
You're a pioneer in all the fronts there.
I am. So what I've done, Chris, is I had to write the book, because here's the thing. If I went all in with all the things that I'm doing right now, which they've all been hard, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, Sure. But anyway, once I hung up the corporate high heels a couple of years ago, and I thought what I wanted to do was go back and just serve the John Q. Public. And then John Q. Public does not look like what John Q. Public looked like 25, 30 years ago. Okay. No.
Yeah. I mean, so it's kind of like you and I. We were talking about our age earlier.
It's a much different JQP. Okay. Yeah. So I said, I think I am going to go figure out up here. There's 62 million unpaid caregivers.
Oh, wow.
In the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I have been one of those over and over and over. So I know what they go through trying to figure things out. And I was in corporate America as a financial advisor and an insurance executive for 28 years. Mm-hmm. So I took that experience. I took my legal background, because I worked in law firms before that. And I took my background of being a caregiver to both my son and my mother. And I combined all of that to form this initiative called the Perpetual Caregiver. And it is really growing into a nationwide movement to benefit people who just need a little. It can be anything from, I host everything from events. A retreat. I have a retreat that's going to be hosted in Bailey, Colorado, May 1st through the 4th. I'll be doing a family love letter retreat, where I actually host these events and help people go through their financial organization. It's a workshop that takes about 6 hours. But in the meantime, they'll go hiking, and they'll go, get massages in one of the cabins and this, that, and the other. And then we'll do some fellowshipping and that type of thing. But my point is that we make it relaxing, but also in there we get some financial planning done. Some very good financial planning done to help them get organized so that if they did pass away unexpectedly or they became incapacitated, their family could get all the documents together and have all of these things organized. But they've taken themselves out of life to work on life.
Yeah.
To get themselves organized.
And it's really hard on caregivers. My mom's a caregiver to my sister who's has MS, and she's in the thing. And it's really hard on them. It's really
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And as when we care for other people, sometimes we don't take as much good care of ourselves and all that stuff. So let me ask you this. What was that like for you at 5 years old? Do you talk about that in the book? What it was like to, you have to really grow up fast. I mean, take care of somebody at 5. You can't even take care of yourself, really.
No, what you really do, and that's kind of, I've had a lot of people, I've been on a ton of podcasts, but really in fact, once I wrote the book, the editors came back and they said, hey, the title, Some Asses Just Need a Wipe, but I didn't read anywhere in there where you wiped an ass. I don't know what to do here. And I said, well.
Sounds like they were really trying to fix a problem.
Yeah. I was like, well, did you see pages 1 through 255 where I had all the other conflicts that were going on? But anyway.
There was ass wiping going on.
There was a lot of ass wiping, but it was all metaphorical. But no, what it really was, and I was able to write it in an entire chapter, that I was raising myself. I was taking care of everything I had to take care of. I was making my own dinner. Well, let me put it this way. Every night, if my mother was well enough to do it, we went to my grandmother's to eat dinner, as long as my grandmother was in a position to make it. But otherwise, I was on my own pretty much for mealtime. It was all the laundry, washing the dishes. I mean, she was not ever strong. She was not ever healthy. And most of the time, and I do talk about that in the book opens with the scene of them taking me to see her at 5 years old, with her telling me that she was not going to be coming home, and she didn't know what was going to happen to me.
Oh, wow.
My dad was already raising his son from his first marriage, and he had behavioral issues, and he was 9 years older than I was, and my grandmother was already raising my sister. So she didn't know what was going to happen to me, but I'd be fine. She was sure I'd see everybody. Well, that's how 5 years old opens up. So when you go from that to you're the permanent caregiver, of course. So I really just kind of was stuck in survival mode.
Yeah.
For the rest of that period of time. And it really just set me up to be a permanent caregiver. I'm really good at it.
I hope somebody helped you, because, 5 years old, you can't go to the store, you can't drive a car. It kind of makes it hard to really.
If you get a chance, now the Audible book won't be out until, I've got my friends coming back in town tomorrow. So, but no, that's the whole point. The whole point is there wasn't any help. You don't. This is 55 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you say? You're 59, 58?
58.
58. Think of yourself at 3 years old. If somebody walked in and your mother was not feeling well, they didn't know what she had. They thought she just had an upset tummy a lot.
And they didn't know that it was Crohn's disease yet. Yeah. Wow.
What? And it took them 14 years to even find a medication she could take.
Oh, really? Wow.
No medicine.
Wow.
Didn't even have a name for it.
Yeah. That is wild.
And all they thought was that she was lazy.
Really? They accused her of being lazy?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, right.
That's what I'm trying to tell. And please realize this is what young lady at 18 years old, you're 18.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 18. You'll have to go on my website and look at my mom. She was a very attractive woman. So you got an 18-year-old who's in the prime of her life, and you're going to sit down with a man and start explaining to him how a problem that you have is where you can't leave the bathroom most of the time.
Wow.
This is how you're going to approach dating?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Now, she managed to get married and have my sister, and then she managed to get married and have me.
Yeah.
I think that's probably pretty amazing. And that's what I came to understand in the book and writing the book.
Yeah.
Is she didn't have time for anything other than bravery and courage. Raising me and my sister, we didn't get what we deserved, but we got all she had.
That's true. Well, you don't even always get what you deserve. You get what
you don't. Actually,
Rolling Stones song.
We get a whole lot better than we ever deserve. That's true. To be quite honest with you.
You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need.
Yeah. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is that, and I have a bevy of individuals that I've worked with over the years in the financial services industry that are joining in, and that's why I'm calling it a collective. It's not a company. I didn't start a company. I started a collective, and they'll be preferred providers who will be helping me with this collective, and they'll be helping at the level, though, where you'll need someone who's licensed or something of that nature to help. For instance, today, one of the things that I did for a client, their daughter thought that she didn't have what she needed. She went to the hospital. She thought she was going to get to her mom in time to pay for her insurance that needs to go into effect on the 31st, or, be paid for. Yada, yada, yada. There's 14 things moving around. Mom's in Portland. Mom lives next door to me. Daughter's in somewhere in Missouri. She lives in Nashville. There's 14 places going on. In about 20 minutes, I took care of the entire problem and got everybody happy and what taken care of. Now, the reason is because I knew about 4 of the different moving parts, some tax information, some personal information that they had going on. They're my client, the situation with the daughter. There was just all these moving parts going on. So mom's freaking out, these things are going on. That's the financial organizational piece that I help the client with, the caregiver. So I help the caregiver. She called to say, I don't know what to do. Your mom, for instance, has something perhaps going on with, you said your sister's the one she takes care of. Is that right?
Yeah.
So she would have something going on with your sister, a medical emergency. Your sister's in the hospital, needing to go in the hospital. She runs into a snag. She's in another city. They can't locate her insurance. And for some reason, that rural hospital says, we can't treat her until you find what we need. Wow. Well, what does your mom do? Does she stop everything she's doing, or does she help your sister? Which one does she do? So now my clients, my personal clients, have 420. Now I worked as a corporate VP the last 15 years of my career, but that didn't stop the people that had called me their agent from calling me. But my people have called me literally on their way to surgery. I kid you not. And said, wait, stop, hold the phone. And said, get my husband or get my wife. Have you called Shelly and made sure these guys are in the network? That's how well I've trained them. Now,
there you go.
That's I know that's overboard, but my point to that is that's the kind of things that I've done over the years, is saying, okay, this is how you keep yourself out of these caregiver people. Have, when they start to take care of things, they're like, oh, wait a minute. Don't forget, we have to check on that. Don't forget, we have to do that. So I have a YouTube channel. I have this, I have that. It's all these things that they can get educated about. But I also, if you're my personal client and you're paying me my fee, I'm available to you.
Yeah.
To actually make that phone call. And I have other advisors within my network that are the same type of advisors. And we offer a concierge level of service that says, hold on, would that actually be, or should we actually be doing that? Or, you know, and that's the thing that I think has gotten so, you know, we're starting to feel it now. We're starting to hear more about it now. I'm starting to read so much about it now that the lost service or the lost piece to the service is the critical thinking, but also the piece that goes with the heart. You know, what is, you know, do you answer that phone at whatever time that person's calling and go ahead and take the call and say, let me check. Let me see if they are in your network. Let me look at that. And I just always have answered the phone, always have gotten to my client and said, yeah, let me check. Only one time did I get really upset with somebody. It was because it was 6 o'clock in the morning and he had 2 weeks to ask me that question. And I fussed at him. I fussed at him. I still answered the daggum question, but I fussed at him. I said, you had 2 weeks to ask me if that plastic surgeon was on your plan. And I would have still told you the same answer. No. Because his wife was having reconstructive surgery after she radical mastectomy. But I'd have told him at the same time. I'd have said, no, because plastic surgeons are not on insurance plans, even if it's for reconstructive surgery.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So if you do it right after.
Yeah.
You can wait 3 months, and, you know, after that. But if you do it right after, it's not covered. I'd have known that right then too. But he made him stop. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that.
That's pretty wild.
But that's really the level of empathy that I've had, because I never had anybody to do that for me.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out.
Yeah. One thing you talk about in the book is the invisible trauma that children of chronically ill parents carry for decades. Tell us a little bit about what that experience is like.
Well, it took me a lot of years. First to even recognize that I had any. My brother asked me that when I came back. I moved back to my hometown in September of 2021. And he was like, how did you even know you needed help? I was like, well, kind of look around at everybody else and their, you know, lives aren't going like yours. And you go, But in 94, I guess, really 94, my mother ended up back in she had moved to New Orleans where I was living. She kind of followed me around. You'll see more about that in book 2, but into book 1, it infers that. And she ended up in the hospital for initially 3 months, and about the first month and a half was in a coma. And I truly believed that I had failed at my job, that my sole purpose in life was to keep her alive. But that was, you know, how I had never done any, I never had any more important role. And yet here she was. So I realized that was something's wrong with that thinking. And that's when I started getting counseling. So it took me the first realization was when my first husband and I split up. And his therapist was the one that went, you know what? Nothing's wrong with you as to why you picked him, except for the fact that you have extremely low expectations for anybody to give you any attention. You've never required any.
Wow.
So, you know, you're going to always have to work on that. So, and I was, you know, at that point I was a single parent, and I said, you know, I know my mom sucked as a single parent, so I better get counseling for that. So he just kind of sent me around the corner, and I started counseling on that level. And then when she got really, really sick and I realized that I was feeling responsible, I'm like, wait, hold the phone. I'm not God. You know, I know there is one and I'm not him. So I sought counseling then. And that's when I realized that I had just been almost like groomed by everyone around me. It's just, oh, Shelly's such a good girl. Look how wonderful of a caretaker you are. Oh, you look at your mom's, you do such a good job. And
she does a good job and we don't have to do it.
We don't have to do it.
I like that. Wow. That's some icy stuff right there. Wow.
Yeah. I was legally emancipated at 13. And when that part comes up in the book, I've had so many people on podcasts go, oh, well, tell me about how you got emancipated at 13. And I'm like, oh, you think it was me saying, I want a divorce? No, it was because I needed to sign paperwork.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't have time to do it. So you take more responsibility.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Not sexy or anything like that.
Yeah, God, you're just so young and you're just trying to figure your own life out. And
I wasn't even figuring my life out. I got up every day wondering. The analogy that I use a lot that really explains how children at that age who have that much responsibility, and I don't care whether it's a mother who's chronically ill or parents who are drug addicts or alcoholics or living in an abusive home or being abused as, whether it be emotionally, mentally, sexually, whatever. It's as if you're walking down the street in New York City, Houston, Dallas, doesn't matter, high rises all around you. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a big, huge bag of trash falls out of the sky. And it drops right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And a person like me or the other people that I was describing, the other trauma victims, meaning, of abuse or neglect or others, we just walk around it. We don't even try to figure out where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
We just, because you know what? We know there's another bag of trash coming.
Better keep walking.
So we just keep walking.
Yeah.
The person that, if we're walking with somebody else who's not used to trash falling out of the sky, they stop dead in their tracks and are going, whoa, where did that trash come from?
Yeah.
And we're going, just keep walking because there's
keep
more
walking.
coming.
There's more coming. Yeah. Well, that sounds like my analogy. People used to come up to me and they'd be like, "Hey, man, what motivates you, Chris? What is the fire that burns inside you that keeps you wanting to build companies and be successful and be an entrepreneur?" And they're like, what is the secret magic? What is the driver that you wake up fired up in the morning, jump out of bed, and go, build whatever?
Go build this thing.
Build this thing. And I go, you really don't want to know. You really don't want to know what keeps me moving and gets me out of bed every morning. And they go, no, you got to tell us the secret, man. We want to know the secret. I'm like, you're not going to like the secret. I'm warning you. You're not going to like it.
Don't
but it
ask
works.
me.
It works for me. And you're not going to like the secret. And I'm warning you. Don't want to know the secret. No, we want to know. This sounds great. And I'm like, well,
you.
And this is a lot like your trash bag thing. So I said, the thing that keeps me working, bills.
Yeah.
They go, because even though I pay all the bills this month,
there's more
another
bills
trash bag of bills coming next month.
Well, hey, when I went into the insurance business, my boss came to me and was like, you need a new car. And I looked at him and I went, dude, I'm a single parent with 2 little kids. I don't need shit. I get up every single morning and I've got a disabled. At the point my son had already been diagnosed.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, no. Wow. I get up every single morning and off to work.
Sometimes that's the battle, man. Just showing up, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And saying every single day, which is what's so wonderful about my oldest son, is it took him a long time, but that's how that works sometimes with kids who once takes them a long time sometimes to figure it out, especially when they're on the spectrum. But once they do figure it out, he cracks me up now. He's like, no, it's okay. You don't have to do anything for me. I'm just happy to be breathing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's okay, kid. I'm glad you're breathing.
I remember one time I hired this salesman, and he was like, and he'd worked for us before in the telemarketing department, but now he's going to go be a mortgage salesman. And I think he convinced me he could do it, but he left the company and then he come back, and he's always a really nice guy, very professional. And so I said, well, I think he learned to be a salesman someplace else. And he came back to us because he knew we provided leads, because he used to do leads.
Yeah.
And so our system would make you a lot of money. It was, because we give loan officers leads where normally they have to go scrape them.
Oh, yeah. Buy them themselves.
But the way it was, we pay you a draw, but you'd be making 10 to 20 grand a month with us. Yeah. Within about 2 to 3 months. You have to build the pipeline up, and then mortgages take about 30 days to close. Yeah. So we found that it was a real problem for people that, we hire these guys at 2,500 and they're making like 10 grand, 20 grand in 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months. And it kind of whips them in the head. It's that old thermostat issue like Tony Robbins talks about. If you go above too high, you make too much money. You go, I got to calm that down. And I remember he came to me one day and he goes, hey, Chris, man, I'm fucked up in the head. I can't sell. I can't motivate myself to sell. I go, why? He goes, well, when I came to you, I was broke, bankrupt. I was living on my friend's couch, my alimony and child support. He had like 6 kids.
Oh my!
He was like, I was far behind on my child support. I was just barely living. He goes, now I got my own place. My belly's full. Got my own new computer. Got all the child supports caught up and paid ahead, and got me a new car, and got all my life perfectly together. And I just can't motivate myself to work. And I'm like, it's great you got caught up on all your bills and all the money you owed, but there's a trash bag coming tomorrow.
That's it. There is a trash bag coming, man. And that's the whole thing is one of the things that I, think about it from what I did for a living for 28 years. I had to figure out, so think about this. What better way did I have for trying to explain to people, you never think it's going to happen to you? Mm-hmm. My mother was 18.
Yeah.
She got a disease they didn't even have a name for yet.
That is wild.
On the way home from her senior trip.
That is wild. So as we go out, give people, tell them how they can reach out to you, find out more, handshake with you, find out if it's a good fit, get your coaching and utilize your services.
Sure. As I said, the best way to really get to know what it is that we do is through my website, which is theperpetualcaregiver.com. Mm-hmm. And on the website, you'll be able to find out about the coaching that I do is generally just starts out with, I call it the Caregiver Comeback Kit. And it is where you get a copy of the book and you get an hour consultation with me to kind of decide if is it financial consultation that you need, or is it, budgeting, debt management? Is it to come to a retreat? Do you need respite? Where are you with your life? And then we take it from there and peel it off into one of the various services that we have. So on my website, it talks about those various services. And then my book, Some Asses Just Need Wiping. You can find that on Amazon.com, or you can find that on, I have my own, the caregiverscorner.com is my website for my own bookstore. So you can go there at the caregiverscorner.com. And I have my other book going to come out probably by the end of next year. That's my slot date is again in November. And that one is going to be Some Asses Just Need Kicking. And I'm writing that one with my son, my neurodivergent son. He picked the name of the book. And the reason is he said, Mom, I know that's not what you want to name it, but every single day I watched you get up in the morning and you put on cleats, just like me and Matt did, to go somewhere to kick somebody's butt. We never knew. Sometimes it was ours.
Yeah.
My boys. And he said, but it could be at work. It could be at our school. It could have been at our, somebody not handling something we needed done, but he said every single day you had to fight for something for us. And so anyway, he's going to write that one with me.
My mom's book would have been His Ass Needs Some Beating if she wrote it with me.
Yeah, well, and that's why Ben said, sometimes it was mine, he didn't take himself out of that realm. So So we do have a series going, and the series is going to be Some Just Need series.
Well, there you go. Well, that should be a lot of fun, and we'll look forward to seeing that book. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. I've enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, lots of fun stories. I mean, they probably weren't fun to go through.
No, but I've enjoyed telling them. I enjoy telling them. So if you'll have me back, I'll tell some more.
There you go. Lots of telling the stories. And these are good lessons too, because caretakers need to take care of themselves and they need a lot of help.
I just try to break the ice over it. I don't try to minimize it, because God knows once you read my book, you'll understand. but you got to get through it. And if you can, you're a better person for it.
Yeah. A lot of caregivers, the big mistake they make is they don't, there's the old saying, put the oxygen mask on yourself on the airplane before other people, because you can't help others unless you.
And that's what the perpetual caregiver is trying to finally do.
There you go. Well, thank you very much, Shelly, for coming on the show. Folks, order up her book wherever fine books are sold, called Some Asses Just Need Wiping, Lesson on Holding It Together, All Together, as My Mother's Lifelong Caregiver, out November 16th, 2025. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss1 on the TikTok, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.